Hi there, I'm on and on and on.
Jamie Boy Blue.
And together we are father and son Footie. We are reviewing post-match Manchester United against Chelsea. Yeah, mate. Yeah, mate.
It was very interesting. We had chances. They had chances. It ended up as a draw. We could have won that. They could have won it. It was like a up down.
My impression of the game was that
It was entertaining. That's my thing.
well, entertainment really. Okay. All right, so let me tell you my take on the game. My take on the game is that uh, we didn't lose. All right, we didn't lose, and neither did they. We had chances. They had chances, like you said, but our play was a lot more methodical. It was a lot more full of identity. Their play, it was interesting to see United play with such counter-attacking fervor. It was almost like seeing a role reversal of what Man U used to be and what Chelsea used to be.
They just fired Ten Hag, and they're a lot better than last season.
Well said, Jamie. So let's see. Let's go through the main events, and I think Jamie started with the right thing. Just before the game, like a few days or whatever, the United finally parted ways with Den Haag. And that is very worrying because, as you could see, midweek they played against Leicester. They're full of vigor. They're invigorated, energetic. Suddenly they're fighting for everything. This was...
Casemiro screamer of a goal.
If we would play them with Den Haag as coach, we would have killed them.
We would have killed
them 5-0.
But
they really fought for this one.
Like me and my friends, everybody said Chelsea gonna beat them because this was before we knew Ten Hag was gonna get sacked. It was like, yeah, it's gonna be an easy win for Chelsea. They're gonna win 4-2, 3-0. But at the end, they fired their coach last minute, and yeah, I think it worked for them.
Yes, so they came with a lot of fight and a lot of energy, and the game really. You could tell that it was a real tactical game. Maresca came with the idea of a slow build-up, patience, not being exposed in the back, being solid, and being patient enough to build the play, move the ball. At times, our ball possession and passing was incredible. Like at times, it was gorgeous, and at times, it exposed the fact that we're still a work in progress. You can still see that this is not a team that is not completely versed in doing this. And then we had a very early chance with the corner. We had lots and lots of corners. Sadly, we couldn't do too much with them.
Fofana's.
Exactly. So
No,
Fofana
that wasn't
bumped
Fofana.
into
That was,
Noni.
Noni's.
And Noni headed the bar from literally as close as we are to the camera, right up against the bar, which was very disappointing.
If Fofana didn't header him, that would have been goal. We would have won 2-1. And I think that Man United were very good. Renato is a friar of all friars. We'll come back to him.
That sucker, you'd say, perhaps.
We'll come back to him. And he...
Right. So if we continue with what happened in the main events, is that we seemed very much to be in control. They were playing counterattack. We played control. We were building up. We were building patiently. We were looking for places on the left, on the right. We were looking for a way through. They really closed up their midfield. Palmer had some incredible
passes,
dribbles, moving into space,
and sometimes he passed it to them. That was his. So not worst. Definitely
let's
not
talk
worst.
about that. No, I agree with you. Definitely not the worst,
but definitely not the best.
There were a few possessions in the first half where Palmer's running forward, and for the first time I've seen him, he was overthinking it. He was overthinking it. Should I go this way? Should I go that way? Didn't pass when he should have passed, and then
he shot it.
He shot it too slow and it got blocked. So Palmer was showing a little bit of
another thing that happened to Palmer in the second half.
Oh, we'll get to that. So then, when was their goal? Second half, right?
Second half was the goals.
So, however, they had a few possessions where on the counter, on transition, they caught us fast.
Rashford had a few misses in the first half.
Rashford, Garnacho had
Garnacho,
a few misses.
They passed it into our defense was nowhere near him. And he touched the ball once, shot it, the weakest kick I've seen.
Yeah, he came from the right and he shot it right at Sanchez. And you did have a bunch of decisions which were very marginal, offside decisions, a few play on decisions, a few fouls.
That half, the ref was on our side.
It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't good refereeing either.
It was bad refereeing but he helped us with the bad refereeing.
Maybe 2 decisions went for us, a lot went for them.
Really?
That's what I think. But
a lot of plays.
The first half seemed like it was very much don't lose.
Yes.
Right? Players playing don't lose. And then we got to
Man United want ties. I know they're only 13th, but we want wins. They know that. They want to only beat teams like Leicester and like other teams. We want to win the big clubs. We want to set standard for us.
So you're thinking they'd walk away going, we'll take a point against Chelsea.
We'll take a point about.
And we feel like we dropped 2 points here. Look, there are 3 draws that spring immediately to mind. That's Crystal Palace, Nottingham Forest, and this. And they all have that kind of vibe.
Back to Nottingham Forest, they should have gotten a red for completely being a goalkeeper, one of their players.
What?
Nottingham Forest.
Yeah.
A player decided to be a goalie and just took the ball off of Palmer, and we could have scored from that with his hands.
He got a red card.
No, he got his second yellow.
Okay, so he got his second yellow.
Instead of 2 games off, only 1.
All right. Okay. So, what the point I was trying to make was that the theme was that we could not put games away. We had our positive possessions. We had these phases in the match. Again, very kind of similar. 2 phases in the first half and quite a bit in the second. And we could not convert these into goals. And then, of course, we get sucker punched. If you don't score, then they'll score. So in the second half, and this is where
10 minutes in.
I just want to frame that, Jamie, by saying that the starting 11. What did you think of the starting 11?
It was weird. I would expect Enzo to play. Lavia had a game. Again, Sancho is getting ghosted by Maresca. He hasn't been playing like 4 games now, 3.
Right. Not only has he not started, as you said, he didn't play. Mudryk was given the chance, and time again, Mudryk is again showing improvement, showing
he's a
flashes.
I think he's going to be our Conference League.
Conference League player, says Jamie. Well, we'll see. Maybe Jadon will get... maybe Jadon Sancho will get the nod.
I don't know. Madueke, I feel like he's going to go... He's slowly going down to the Conference League. And Neto is coming up to that right. And I think Sancho and Neto, I think, is the wingers.
Well, look, I have to say that if we're going to start with our wingers, that I think Maresca is choosing the best team. And Neto is...
the first player to come from second team to the first.
Oh, second team. Well, we know what you mean by that, but they're not the second team, are they? You mean
team
substitute. B. They're not Team B either. They're just Chelsea, and there's only one Chelsea team. I'm towing the Maresca line. But we all know exactly what you mean, Jamie. So the point...
We have 100 players. We have like 4 teams in our...
What are you talking about? This is a myth. This is not true. It's 29 players.
We have 40 something.
We can have 4,000 players that have registered from age 3 to age 30. But the point is that in our Premier League registered team, our team is no bigger than any other team. This is a complete myth.
No, but like our entire team, even if it's not registered for the Prem.
If it's not
We have, like,
registered for the Prem,
39.
then they can't play in the Prem. So who cares? If we're
Yeah.
talking about a Premier League game, okay, what do you care about?
I just think that we should sell players. We have too many.
Okay, can we sell them now?
January we should sell.
Yeah, it's not January. So watch out for January. We'll get to January. But I resent this whole talk about, oh, Chelsea's got so many players. Absolutely not true. Maresca took very good care of the ball playing team. He cleaned out who he could clean out. He was always very clear.
Who
with
did he clean out?
A bunch of players got sold, okay? I'm not going to go back to the beginning of the season now. It's a waste of our time. But I'll tell you this, Jamie.
Mhm.
Players know what and where they stand with Maresca. They know if they're going to play or if they're not going to play. Is it all right with you that we talk about Man U for a bit?
Yes.
Thank you. So in terms of the game that we're actually playing, all right, that we're actually talking about, the draws. Where I was talking about before we went off on one was that in our draws, we have these possessions. We have these parts of the game where we're dominating, right?
And then there's 10 minutes that we like are the worst team and we concede.
Well, you could definitely say that about the game versus Newcastle in the Cup, can't you? In the Carabao Cup, there were 10 minutes that we just went into shock and they killed us in 10 minutes.
Isak scored twice. No, Isak scored one and then a different player scored a header.
Correct. And so the point is that we had this again here. Chances by whom? So if we're talking about the wingers, Neto on the left had chances, but it is not his natural. Exactly. He likes to go and run on the right and go into his left foot. On the left, when he does that, there's nowhere to go.
Travella.
Sure, Jamie. And so obviously no goal, fluffed opportunities and missed chances. So in terms of Neto, he had a couple of those, but he had a couple of those because he put himself in the right position. So very positive play.
Well.
Very positive play. He should have buried a chance there, but half chance really.
Our entire attack should have buried one chance at least.
I agree.
Enzo's miss.
We'll get there. So
that was in the first half, wasn't it?
No, he didn't play in the first half.
Oh, yeah.
Lavia and Caicedo played, and I thought that was very solid. You can see that Maresca says, okay, we have a solidity with Lavia and Caicedo that really provides cover for the back.
I didn't feel like we need at least one attacking center mid. I know we have Palmer, but I mean like center mid, not center attacking midfield, because Palmer usually plays like all the way in attack.
Wow, these are very good points. Let's just raise the questions. I can't tell you that I have the answers. Maresca is the one that's in charge of making these decisions. I can say that you're making very, very valid points. For me, Lavia and Caicedo played very well. I mean, Caicedo played amazing, but Lavia and Caicedo played very well, starting to complement each other. I think we're gonna see a lot more of that, and we're gonna see them also getting better at this play together stuff. So watch out for that. Two positions that didn't really do it for me. So one is Jackson.
Striker.
Exactly. One is Jackson. Yeah, look, in the Newcastle game, at least he did these good turns and ran into possession. Here, as soon as the game started, Jamie, what did you say about Jackson's position?
I wasn't feeling him.
You said he was a false nine. You said that he's so far back. You know, at times he was collecting balls from the defense, which, by the way, in the previous game against Newcastle, he lost possession a few times like that. And he was a bit whingy. He got a yellow card for whinging. He was a bit whingy. And you could tell that Maresca is keeping faith with him because over the 90 minutes, you just knew that you're going to get one good bloody move out of him. And we did. Tell us about that move with Fernandes. What happened there?
Tap in. And he shanked it.
Could you tell us, though, what happened? How did the position look?
So Palmer passed it to Jackson. Jackson did a back heel to Enzo, a perfect ball. Onana went up into Jackson. So Jackson pulled it back because he saw Enzo. I think he tried passing it to Palmer. That was also there. But Enzo ran in instead of him and kicked it with way too much power and just...
Exactly. So
Palmer could have scored that. Neto could have scored that. Noni could have scored it.
Fernandez could have scored
I know.
that. So what I think he should have done, as opposed to what he did do.
Tap it in.
Precisely.
Don't.
He overthought it. He overcomplicated it. He went for top bins and shot above goal. So there was no need. Onana and his defense were all on the right as you face goal. The left was just staring you in the face. Just roll it in with the floor on the ground.
No, that if it was on the ground, Onana
there was no one there. Onana was on the right. There was no one there. Onana was exactly like you said. He came forward to Jackson.
Mazuari.
He was on the right. Nobody was there. Look at it again. We'll look at it in the highlights. There was nobody there. This is all. Let's be fair. It wasn't a slow possession. It was a fast move. Boom, boom, boom. But you expect a player, I'm sorry, like that to just keep his cool and roll it in, which he didn't. So second half, Enzo did get to play. Enzo did get to play in that second half. I'm just making sure your microphone here isn't... yeah. He did get to play, and he did bring those forward passes. Enzo did bring it in, but he did make us go a little bit more vulnerable at the back. But in the second half, Reece James came back to the right side, and Gusto, who was on the right side, was replaced by Cucurella. I thought that. Let's talk about Gusto.
Stinky.
Tell us a bit more.
The entire first half, he only played 45 minutes.
That's right. He played 45 minutes, which means he'll probably play again. This, on Thursday against
Noah.
Yeah.
Noah. Gusto in attack was absolutely stinky. He could have scored a goal and assisted.
So let me just add to that. He put himself. He ran.
He put himself higher than Madueke.
He got to the right positions, and like in previous games, his positional play is fantastic. His energy, fantastic.
His crossing. Every time we play against
not so good.
Every conference league, every team that was bad, his crosses were insane. Against
insane?
Yeah.
Good?
Good.
When?
Against
okay, it'll come.
Panathinaikos.
Right,
the header of Madueke.
Right. Okay, but this, okay, I get what you're saying. This game, he got into positions in attack, and again, like in the game against Newcastle, the Carabao Cup one, didn't convert them, didn't do much with them, didn't make the right pass, or was too predictable.
Very good.
However, he played very decent in defense on the right. He closed that right wing pretty well. You got to remember, United have got a lot of talent.
Garnazzo's temper was
Which leads me to the goal. So by this point, Reece James is back on the right wing, and it was a beautiful counterattack by United where Bruno Fernandes just backheeled through three of our players, cancelled a lot of our players out. It was an irresponsible play. We lost possession in the middle of the park with fancy play that shouldn't have been there.
James passed it.
And then James is running back, and like you said,
they passed it to Højlund. Højlund does the worst touch I've seen.
Højlund was alone there because James wasn't there.
Can I?
Yeah.
Højlund did a bad touch. He was not gonna control it. Sanchez did a silly mistake.
Very.
It would have been a goalkeeper. It was gonna be a goalkeeper ball.
100%.
That was a bad touch. It was rolling out, and Sanchez just went for it, and Højlund was just like, "Ooh, let me do a movie jump," and he just jumped, even though he just barely touched his leg. He jumped, and of course he's gonna get a penalty. Of course, if you touch them and they fall over as a goalkeeper, it's a penalty.
Just let him go. This is the third time.
Anyways, from that angle. Anyways, if he kept the ball in,
he wouldn't. He didn't. He was running out.
Just
let him go.
I know, but even if he did, Do you see from which angle he was? Even if he shot it, he would have hit the post. He
At
was
best.
right in the post.
At
Just
best.
let him do it. Stay in the goal.
Protect
stay
the
like
goal.
that. Protect it. Don't jump
You're a
at him.
goalkeeper. Okay, so two things with this is that this is a recurring theme. Getting the
Wait.
ball.
Penalty. Bruno Fernandes, of course, scores a penalty.
Yes.
He scored it. A penalty is a penalty.
So I want to go back to the goal that they
Back-to-back
scored.
goals.
No, I want to the goal that they scored. Did he use it back-to-back goals for Fernandes?
Yeah,
Good
he
for
scored
him.
against Leicester twice.
Good for him. So in terms of that goal, it is the third time now that this tactic is working for teams against us. Get in behind our defense. They get in behind our defense because that's where you're going to meet a very clunky goalie who's going to bring you down. And that is happening time and time again. And if they're not going to bring you down, they're going to fall down and you're going to have an easy goal. So this tactic, we're seeing it time and time again.
Can we please start talking about Chelsea's goal?
Now.
Caicedo.
Tell me about the goal, Jenny.
Corner, they played it. It was a pass. No. Yeah, Palmer crossed it in. The Leeds headed it out right into Caicedo. Caicedo had his little opening. Volley from outside of the box into the bottom corner.
Was it? It's inside the box, but
No. No.
But I think so.
No, it was outside the box.
Really? It seemed to me like it was
no,
inside.
it was 100% outside the box.
We'll check. But the point that I want to add to that.
That technique on that kick. I saw a picture of him midair kicking it. That laces kick, like volley.
Great
beautiful
technique.
Goal.
Great technique. Beautiful goal. One thing that stood out to me was that was a reaction goal. What I mean by that is that the football games are a creation of drama, right? And once they scored, like the level of drama in the game just went up, and we managed to get even. And that was very important because we managed to
Chelsea fans
react. We managed to react, and that is fantastic. After that, things calmed down and it went back to the usual flow of the game, which is, as we see so many times, we control, but we're not finishing it yet. We're still learning, but you can tell from game to game, this is Maresca's style, and the team are buying into it.
Yeah, but a little fun fact, Caicedo, 2 goals for Chelsea, 2 golazos. 1 from halfway, 1 from outside of the box volley.
Beautiful goals, no matter where they are on the pitch. And so
still hasn't scored not 1 goal inside of the box.
And so now we end up still top 4, but we could have stuck.
I'd rather us stay top 4 for the entire season. I feel like if we stay top 5 the entire season, and at the end few games we win all of them, like last season, if we win all of our last 4 games, we'll be top 4.
I hope so. Now
just keep us in the top 6.
Next game we have another very difficult game.
Arsenal. But I think this might be a little wild to say. It's going to be easier than Man U.
Let's hope so. Thank you very much. In the meanwhile, you know what to do.
Like and subscribe in the YouTube channel and follow the TikTok.
Thank you.